On the employer side, I noticed that employers have been, up until very recently, very optimistic. But then when this border closed, they're doing more of a wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's just being super cautious,
Mm.
not to overpromise and under-deliver. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
We know people are packing up their lives. It's a big deal. So I don't think employers want that responsibility right now.
No. So the opportunity, what I've been telling people that are currently looking, if you do have employers that have shown interest with you in the past, give them a call, give them a message, tell them, I'm still keen on this. I'm still positive. We haven't changed our position. At least be that one stable force in their life who comes and gives them some good news.
Listen, it just tries to keep things positive. Things are going to work out in the end. Yeah, definitely good move. Yeah.
And there's been some employers as well who have already hired some people. And it's a good time to let them know, that they didn't make a mistake. Say, I'm looking forward to getting back to work.
Yeah.
And some of those are on our list. And the same would apply for you, I guess, Julia, for people that have been caught in the middle of the process. Maybe they're waiting on some documents. And
there is, we've got people in all different sort of status at the moment, but the ones that have got work visas lodged are just in a holding zone right now because nothing can move with immigration because they're not able to process those applications right now. But as soon as things start to get back to normal, then those ones will move through and they can, continue with their journey, which would be amazing. It's just trying to keep people's spirits up and, give them the positive that things will return to normal at some point. It's just the timeline we just don't know right now.
And you had the question, Julia, can they still migrate? How did you want to address this question?
I thought maybe it would be something they would think, is New Zealand still going to be a country that's going to...
Oh, yes. Right.
Or because of our higher unemployment, is it something that's just going to be impossible for them? So just to give them some glimmer of hope that, yes, of course, we're still going to need our skilled migrants even when this is all over.
Yeah. Well, let's go for that one because, talking about, so the New Zealand need for skilled migrants, there's always been a fluctuation there, hasn't there?
Yeah. And the needs change over time because things get updated with the skill shortages and things. There's always differences there, but that relies on industries actually going forward with immigration to tell them what they're short of. So a bit of collaboration between industries would be good. Yeah.
And the one that's been enduring for a long time has been the trades, among others, specialist skills. And like you pointed out earlier, the high end or the niche are there's a lot of those that are quite constant. But then the other ones are fluctuating. A lot of it has to do with passion. If you've got a lot of passion and good skills, these fundamentals don't change. The fundamentals of finding work. They're going to try to find the best option they can for the role that they need filled.
Yeah.
And so it's a numbers game in a sense. You just keep trying. Will the numbers decrease? The longer that this embargo on employees keeps going, of course, the harder it will be for the economy to recover, which means the harder it will be for employers to find people. And like you pointed out earlier, Julia, it will also be hard for INZ because one of the things about immigration in New Zealand, they want to find people abroad who are not taking the place of a local. So if there are a lot of locals out of work, INZ would need to try harder to make sure employers in New Zealand are doing their job and looking locally in a proper way to fill those roles.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, definitely. And that will present some hurdles to overcome with temporary visas, but employers still can do a thorough recruitment effort, and if they've got a particular role that there really isn't any local person that meets their criteria, then why not? Why wouldn't a work visa succeed? It's the employer has a specific need, then the migrant can fulfill it, not a local person. They can justify it.
So nothing really changed in the fundamentals, just maybe the numbers will contract a bit.
I think so. And I think maybe immigration will have to be a little bit more critical on recruitment efforts. But yeah, I guess that we'll have to see how that plays out with them and what their internal instructions are going to be.
One way to look at this, if you're the foreign worker, don't try to look at the big picture of the numbers that are contracting, because that's looking at the negative side of things. Be separate from other people. Be your own person. Stand out on your strongest suit of what you can do, and look for those places that have needs for you.
Exactly. Yeah, find your point of difference. What can you offer a company that does make you stand out? Yeah.
So can they still migrate? Definitely. What's changed with New Zealand? Well, the location is the same. The nature is the same. The government is the same. Society is the same. The needs are going to return to some level. I don't know how long it will take to bounce back. Obviously, the sooner these borders open up, the sooner we can bounce back to the same level. Otherwise, it will be a longer road to travel on.
Yeah. But I think long term, we should be back in how we were before. It's just how long the journey is going to be to get there.
Yeah. So you had another question. What can they be doing in the meantime? What can people be doing at the meantime? You want to take a crack at that one?
Yeah, why not? So yeah, in the meantime, there's lots they can be doing because there's documents to gather, there's research to do, there's people to reach out to, and all of that can be done while New Zealand's in a bit of downtime, if you like, because there are loads of people that are working from home, so they're still actually working within their business. Even if they're not hiring, they might be looking at what they're going to need to do in the future to bounce back, and what they're going to need in terms of human resources. So use that opportunity to make those connections and talk to people. So I think that's really, really important, and everybody can be doing that now, making the most of that time.
That's right. Yeah. I think my services come in different levels of support, but it's generally three things. One is preparing a profile, which does take time to prepare it well. Why? To make yourself accessible. Why? So that employers don't work to look at you. Why? Because everyone else is making them work too hard. And if you're different, that's better. So we work hard on that and get that done in a systemized way. So that's preparation. Then it's implementation. That's where you reach out and make it personal. So the preparation side can entirely be done from abroad. In fact, it's better to be done from abroad. And then part of the implementation, the part about setting up meetings, can also be done from abroad. And you know what? If the meetings aren't happening, that's great news to know, because that means don't come yet. And if they are starting to happen, that's great to know. That means you're building confidence, building your network, building things up towards that eventual trip. And then you're guaranteeing your success of the trip as well. So this is part of everything that works in. And then the final thing I do is the support that goes along the way until you actually get a job offer. So these are the components, generally speaking, that you can do almost, the great majority of that can be done from abroad. And when you get here, you're pumping on all cylinders and you're making things happen.
Exactly, because if you don't do good preparation, then when you actually engage in that active job search element, then it's going to fall flat if you've not done really good prep work ahead of your trip. So yeah, it's absolutely fundamental that you do the document collection, get everything document ready, so that when you do get that job offer, we're not waiting on documents. I mean, the time sensitive things, I guess, is going to be a bit more tricky with government agencies being closed for police clearances and things, and medicals can't be done right now. But those are just everything else on the list. It can all be taken care of during this downtime. So you're just ready to surge ahead. Otherwise, you'll be left behind.
Indeed. Your opinion on what's going to happen. How do you want to talk about this? What's going to happen? That's an interesting question. In what sense? So let's limit that question. What's going to happen to the opportunity of coming to New Zealand, broadly speaking, both with INZ and with the job market?
Well, I think it's going to be a slower recovery. I don't think things are just going to go full steam ahead as soon as things start to function again. I think it will be cautious in the beginning, but then I think the momentum's going to pick up, and we're going to be swamped with, things coming at us from all angles, with employers needing staff and migrants with job offers. I think it will kind of get on a bit of a roll, but yeah, I think it just will be a slow recovery, to be honest. But opportunities will come, the ones that we didn't expect to see. I think it'll be a little bit of surprises in there that we weren't expecting.
They raised this border up so quick, didn't they, Julia? I wonder if they're going to lower it quick too. Will they give an announcement saying, okay, as of next week, we're starting the process again? I mean, or are they going to put it way out? I just wonder about the timing.
I think they'll drop it as quickly as it went up, because if they might have stricter rules about who can get on the flights, maybe there'll have to be a level of screening on medical side. I don't know, but I think they will lift it completely, just to get everything moving along again, because we're going to need our tourists coming back. We're going to need our overseas workers coming in with their work visas, and families being reunited. So it's how they manage the influx, really, because I think as soon as the curtain goes down, it'll be panic. Book flights and come.
So going on with that concept that the borders closed quickly, they may well open quickly as well. When it happens, there'll be a certain number of employers all ready to move, and some others do the wait and see. That's just the usual thing. The ones that are moving quickly, as they make good use of these workers, the ones that are waiting, they'll start to risk a bit more, and they'll think, okay, let's go for it. And the same thing on the other side of the river, right? On the other side of this big ocean we've got between us, there'll be people that are ready to jump right in. I mean, if you're committed to New Zealand as an idea, and it's just, that's it, that's my goal, there's no reason not to do everything in your power to prepare. Then you'll be ahead of those people that are on the fence waiting to see. And there's reasons to wait on the fence. Some people may not have their mind made up. For you people who haven't made up your mind yet, why not investigate and decide if this is right? And have a look around. So where do you want to be in a time of crisis? This is probably not the last one we'll have in our life as far as just general theme of crisis goes. It can be different reasons. Where do you want to be? Is New Zealand the place? Is home the place? Is another country the place? Eventually, your mind will have to be made up, or your default will be whatever it is, wherever you are, that's the default. So is that fine? So if you make up your mind on that, you can start to make things happen in your life and use this time for that.
Yeah, quite agree.